Good morning, class. I hope this message finds you well. My name is Emmett Gill, and I'll be your instructor for sports social work. And I know it's taken me a moment to get this video done. I've been on the run, but I was sitting here, getting a little workout in this morning. I said, what better place to share some thoughts about the class and introduce myself. And to introduce myself again, my name is Emmett Gill. I'm an adjunct instructor at North Carolina State University. I'm also an adjunct instructor at the University of Texas at Austin. My primary position as professional sports wellness and crisis program manager for Vibrant Emotional Health, but I also do a lot of consulting in different college sports spaces and working on different issues, including student athlete mental health, as well as issues of name, image, and likeness among student athletes and crisis planning with professional sports teams. I've been doing this for a while. I sort of found my passion for sport and social work as I was finishing my doctoral degree at the University of Maryland. After the University of Maryland, I went on to work at Rutgers State University of New Jersey, where some of you may have heard something about the Don Imus and Rutgers women's basketball controversy. And at that time, I was a mentor of the Rutgers women's basketball team. And that sort of started a trend for me in terms of being in academics, but also doing some work in athletics. And I'll rewind for a second. I actually started as a learning specialist at the University of Maryland for the Terrapins football team back at a time when you had guys like DeQuell Jackson and Vernon Davis and others competing on that team. Fast forward, ahead of Rutgers, left Rutgers State University in New Jersey and returned to my hometown, Durham, North Carolina. That's where I'm from, with Durham, Jordan. I'll talk a little bit about that later, my hometown. But at North Carolina Central University, had an opportunity to work as a professor in the School of Social Work, but then also work in athletics under the leadership of Dr. Ingrid Wicker-McCree, who received her PhD from North Carolina State University and recreated a student-athlete wellness center. And for 4 years, that's where my interests really lie, when I had an opportunity to not only work with student athletes directly, but also to develop programming to help student athlete mental health and wellness. Fast forward, moved to Texas, the University of Texas at San Antonio, where I was also a professor, but had an opportunity to work on another great female athletic director by the name of Lynn Hickey. And with Lynn Hickey, I had an opportunity to mentor men's basketball players, and at the same time develop a leadership program for who we call Coach Hickey. My work got the attention of an interim AD at the University of Texas at Austin, Mike Perrin. And Mike Perrin brought me in. So this was the first time when I went to the University of Texas at Austin, where I was an assistant professor, but I also had a paid title in athletics as a director of student athlete wellness and personal development. I really enjoyed my time at Texas. It gave me an opportunity to develop a lot of programming like mindfulness lab, substance use and prevention programming. Also did a lot of work with injured athletes and group work within the injured athletes, as well as doing a lot of different things. It was just an incredible opportunity that led me to do my work that I'm currently doing now as professional sports crisis and wellness program manager with Vibrant Emotional Health, where I work on both the NBA and NFL mental health initiatives. Specifically, I am the sole evaluator of crisis planning for NFL teams, as well as a quality assurance person for our NFL Lifeline. It's great work. It's a great experience. It's a little bit tough commuting back and forth from San Antonio, Texas to New York. But I love the work, and I love the fact that social work has been integrated into athletics. I want to invite you to visit a website. It's called the Alliance of Social Workers in Sports. Myself, along with Matt Moore, created the organization as a space for social workers who are interested in working in professional, college, high school, and youth athletics. And we got student memberships available as well. And, it's just a great space because right now, I know down the road in Charlotte, we've got Tish Guerin, who's a social worker for the Carolina Panthers. We've got Trish Bent Goodley, who's a social worker for the Baltimore Ravens. We've got Karen Winston, who's a social worker for the Houston Texans. And so a lot of folks are working. We've got over 25 social workers working in college athletic spaces, so it's something that's happening. Now, we're in this competition with sports sociologists, and I understand and respect that. But I think the social work brings a different brand because not only are we practitioners, but we're also advocates. We also develop programming. We also do case management. We work in policy. So, I think that social workers have a lot to bring athletics in addition to the fact that we're clinicians and we do health and mental health with regard to various disorders. A little bit about me. Like I said, I grew up in Durham, North Carolina on Tobacco Road. Really loved NC State basketball. Jimmy Valvano, Terry Gannon, Derek Wittenberg, my man Sidney Lowe, Thurl Bailey, all those cats, Chris Washburn. I grew up in that time where, we've got basketball championships up and down Tobacco Road from Duke to North Carolina. Went to Durham Jordan, Durham Hillside, ended up at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte where I competed as a baseball player, walked on as a basketball player, but I really understood, sort of the power of sport and what sport can do for certain individuals, not just males. Because when I came into this business, actually, a lot of my work revolved around Title IX and sports opportunities, not just for women, but women of color. I still serve as a board member for the Black Women in Sports Foundation, and I really believe in equity and diversity in sports. In terms of this class, I really just encourage you to dig deep into the reading. Co-founder of the Alliance of Social Workers in Sports, Matt Moore, along with Dr. Ginger Gomelt, who is also an executive board member with the Alliance, developed the first textbook in sports social work. And what I've tried to do is to take that textbook and supplement it with some real-time readings. Some of them are articles that I've produced. Some of them are articles that my colleagues have produced. But it really gives you an opportunity to get a foundation for sports social work and then get some applications for sports social work, foundation and application. With regard to the case study, we have a number of social work majors in a class, but some of you aren't social work majors. And so what I encourage you to do, and this is really important, I need you to listen to this. What I really encourage you to do is to take the readings and integrate some of the concepts from the readings into your case study and into your issue briefs. Now, I want to be really crystal clear about this. I didn't say quotes. I didn't say long paragraphs. I said concepts. Your ability to use concepts in your work will demonstrate that you have, read and digest the reading. So that's very important in this process. And I'll say that throughout our 8 weeks together. But again, the case study, it's really, I really, and you'll notice in particular with the issue brief, I give some pretty exact instruction because sometimes I look at papers as a test. And so I want you to go piece by piece, I don't want you to throw the whole kitchen sink at me, but I want you to be very direct in your writing, but with the case study, just pay attention to what it's asking, and sometimes I encourage people to make a statement and build off of it. Don't give me 3 or 4 different things and don't go in depth into anything. Give me one thing and go into depth with regard to that. If I say who you're going to collaborate, then I expect 3 or 4. I don't expect 1. If I say who you're going to collaborate and I'm asking for a particular department, I might want that department, but also name a couple of people in that department. So I hope that at this level that you're building off of your reading, that you're building off of statements that you use and trying to provide some detail to your writing. With regard to the video conferences, I'll be sending out a doodle poll shortly to schedule those. They'll mostly be in the morning, but I'll try and give some availability in the afternoon. What I really hope is that you will have an opportunity by then to have thought about what your issue brief is going to be all about. I'm always available in terms of office hours, but I really like to talk to you about your interest. And a lot of you express your interest in your introductory videos. And I think in doing that particular piece in your introductory videos, build off of those. Don't do something. Don't try and do anything new or super special. Go with your interests. Go where your interests lie. If your interests are in, anxiety disorders, then roll with anxiety disorders and how they might relate to off-the-field issues in collegiate athletics. With regard to issue briefs, it could be on the field issue. It could be an off-the-field issue. Any issue where social work is applicable. What else do I want to share? With regard to your quizzes, I'm really going to focus probably about 60 or 70% on the book. I am going to provide some book resources for you to study, but the other 30% will come from the readings, the supplementary readings. They'll be mostly true, false, multiple choice. You won't have to do any writing. I really want you to do well. I just want you to read. I want you to take the time to really think about the intersection between social work and athletics. And I'm going to get a chance to just put up some introductory social work material, but I think the book does a good job of that. And I know you've got other classes. I don't want to overload you. So that's sort of my introduction. I intend to try and do one of these videos every couple of weeks because I think that that's important. I don't want this class to be static, so you'll be hearing from me. And if you took the time to listen to this video and all the way through the video, then what I would like you to do for a small extra credit opportunity is to email me a story from the last 7 days that reflects the intersection between social work and sports. And I'll give you some extra credit points for your quiz. In the meantime, I hope you have an outstanding day. I hope you have an outstanding weekend. If you're checking out those playoff games, check out those playoff games. There's a lot of great basketball going on as well. A lot of things that are happening in baseball. Just a lot of stuff going on in the world of sports, and there's a lot of room for social workers. So have a great day. We'll talk soon. Peace.